to another exciting episode of
ZoeTv.
ZoeTV.
Yes, here we are.
We're like got a little momentum back that we've been together. No one's been sick. We've actually been here together. I'm liking this juice we got.
It's a new trend. I like it.
I do too.
That old trend.
We've had some amazing guests from sales the last couple of weeks.
Yes.
And we had a lot of conversation about hair last week.
Yes, we did.
Ponytails, Fabio. So this week we decided let's bring on another man with another great head of hair.
Yeah. You know what? That is the theme, isn't it?
It is the theme.
Yeah.
It is the theme.
And we could get some hair tips.
I'm going that direction too. Okay. Jerry Martin. Man.
There he is. Look how great he looks on camera.
Look at this red shirt.
I know.
It looks so good.
It does.
Jerry, you are a fixture already at Glencroft. I mean, a fixture in the community.
Oh, okay.
Don't you think?
I saw you out there posing. Was that you being the fixture, the statue here at Glencroft?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, first off, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
You're not immune to this studio. You've spent a lot of time in here. You were almost staying quite a bit.
Yes. So, yeah.
And you got drug into the GCA meeting the other day. Not the meeting, but the board meeting.
Taking notes?
You just say yes, don't you?
Yeah, the scripture says this is how we know what love is. Jesus laid down his life for us. If you see a brother in need and can help him and don't, where's the love of Christ in that? So we just try to respond that way.
Wow.
It's evident by how you hit the ground here running.
Yes.
So let's back up. Let's talk a little bit about where you're from. What drew you to Arizona? What drew you to Glencroft? Let's start way back. Where are you guys from originally?
I was born in Panhandle, Texas, and moved to Oklahoma just before my 5th birthday, and moved to East Phoenix just before the start of the 8th grade.
Oh, wow.
And in high school, I met Bonnie, and she was from the Puget Sound area.
Okay.
And she moved down here in the 4th grade. Her dad and brother had allergy issues, so they came to the dry the dry heat. And then the first day of school in high school in Mr. Franz's English class, she handed me my first ever syllabus, and I didn't know what a syllabus was till I saw it. And I realized she was out of my league, and so I just watched her from afar till our senior year.
Oh.
And we got thrown together working on the senior float for homecoming, and things just developed from there, and now been married over 50 years.
Oh, so what high school?
East High.
Oh, yes. One of the original ones, yes.
Where was East High?
It's
44th Street between Van Buren and McDowell.
Okay.
Back when they had East High, West High, North.
It's south of Arcadia, about 3 miles.
But it was kind of far away in the early days, you know. It was out there.
You go back out that direction often? Do you see what it's developed into and kind of...
Only if I zip across the 202, that's pretty much it. The 202 goes through the old football field area and that type of stuff. There's a big water plant or something there now.
They're building up all that down there, though.
Oh,
all these, like, cool restaurants, and, I mean, they're really expanding all over that kind of South Arcadia area. It's exploded. So that's some time you spent in Arizona. You've seen change.
Yes. We were here 40-something years, and I went to school to Phoenix College on a wrestling scholarship, and I had other scholarship offers, but I was in love with Bonnie and I didn't want to leave, so I took the one that was local. And while I was at Phoenix College, I accepted God's call to the ministry. Bonnie thought she was marrying a teacher and a coach, and she ended up marrying a pastor. And so that whole transition took place. While I was at Grand Canyon, I transferred to Grand Canyon after PC, and
What's up, Jerry?
And while I was there, man called me and said, "Would you come do our music and be our youth pastor, our associate pastor in these areas, and I said, well, I don't think so. And then about 3 months later, we were praying, and I said, you know what? Maybe we should talk to Dr. Sutton again. And the next morning, the first call we got was Dr. Sutton. And so I told him about our little prayer time. He says, what time was that? I said, 9 o'clock. He says, that's interesting, because last night at 9 o'clock, I was praying about whether I should call you or not.
Wow.
And I had peace that I should. And so we served with him. Dr. Sutton was an amazing guy. He was a associational missionary that worked from Mexico to Canada and covered 11 Western states back in the olden days. And I didn't even realize the hero of faith that I was having the benefit of being around. And of course, as I served with him, I knew there was something different, but I learned the history almost at the end of our time there. And then I went to First Baptist Williams, and then off to graduate school, and then on to the ministry. We pastored and then went into church planting. And then the last 10 years, for about 30 years, we worked with our denomination and the North American Mission Board as missionaries, as church planters, associational missionaries, working with churches in a geographical area, and then as state missionaries. And we worked the last 10 years with the Utah-Idaho Baptist Convention.
Oh, wow. Okay, so where was Dr. Sutton? He was...
Dr. Sutton was right here in the valley over on 24th Street in Roosevelt at Elsinore Baptist Church.
Okay, and that's where you worked with him? Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Inner city work.
So what years were you at Grand Canyon then?
70 to 74.
I just missed you by 20 years. 2 decades, just a little bit.
Barely crossing in the...
You may have been there when Bonnie was there, though.
But I saw Grand Canyon 94 to 98 where it was bare bones. I mean, we were still very cool,
you're
very
right.
fun, but it was very low level everything. And all of the online schooling had just kind of kicked up in my senior year. And now to go back, that's where both my kids want to go. We go to season ticket basketball, and it's spectacular. I mean, it's like its own
beautiful.
city.
Yes,
it is.
It's state of the art across the board. It's like that old dorm is now, it's like everything has changed.
Yeah, and people come from out of state. My neighbor's niece just came from like Missouri, and I met we sold our car to a kid that came out on a track scholarship.
Amazing.
It's so cool.
But it was like when we were at Grand Canyon, I'm sure it was similar to you. Obviously, certain schools and departments were big, like the nursing, education, those had its pulse.
Right.
And now my kid wants to go to Christian film. And they're number 2 in the country. Grand Canyon is number 2 in the country. Them in another school in Florida. And it's like, it's unbelievable.
Well, and Colangelo had a lot to do with
100%.
Giving it a name.
So do you go back over there?
Driven by a couple of times.
But not on campus?
But I haven't toured or anything.
Because it looks completely different,
We got to get you over to a basketball game with us. It's spectacular.
It is.
Well, I'll tell you, Grand Canyon led you in a right direction, and then you had a lot of all the planning. So what years did you come to realize, like, hey, we need to slow down a little bit and kind of enjoy, not being a senior, but like what did that transition look like from planting churches and you're active in your travel to maybe a little more sedentary?
Well, I've always had a great memory, and I did a lot of ministry from memory. Matter of fact, when I was in Casa Grande, somebody broke into the car, and I had a little box that I kept my day timer and that type of stuff in, pre-electronics, and he stole my box with that. And so I had dates out 3.5 years.
Oh my gosh.
And so I just said, Lord, call everything to remembrance. And I wrote them all down that I could think of. And then one Saturday night, Bonnie says, so which church are you worshiping with tomorrow? And I told her one, I don't remember which one. But then when I got up the next morning, Santan, the church in the Santan community on the Gila River, Res was on my heart. And I said, I need to go over to Santan. I don't know why, but I'll go to Santan. And so I got a bulletin as I walked in the front door, and I'm sitting there, so I'm reading about the church and that type of stuff. Then I look at the order of service, and it says, message, guest speaker, Jerry Martin.
Oh, my God.
And so, both my dad and Dr. Sutton had taught me to always be ready. And so I had a sermon ready, and it went just fine. But that was the only date out of all those dates that I dropped, and the Lord gave it back to me. So,
that is a great story. Now, was your dad in the ministry also?
Yes, he was a bivocational minister.
Okay.
He served poor inner city churches or small rural country churches.
Nice. So where was your favorite place to be a pastor? I mean, you said you were in Utah, and
I think Williams was the best. Bonnie and I was so green they should have called me pastor, and
that's
people,
a good one.
Pastor humor. I love that.
Yeah.
They just loved us and let us make our mistakes. They rolled their eyes a lot, I'm sure, and but God blessed the ministry there. We found out that the pastors who, by reading the old records, I found out that the pastors who were most effective in the church and community were somehow involved with the schools. And so I got to coach assistant coaches football and baseball, and head coaches wrestling, and head wrestling coach at the junior high school. And that opened up all kinds of doors.
Yes.
And then the police chief asked me to be the police chaplain. And so I rode with police officers, and then was called on when there were tragedies or people that needed help and that type of stuff. So it just opened every door, and God blessed the growth of his church, and it was a great time. Both kids were born there. It was a wonderful little community. We just enjoyed it. When we went there, I-40 came into town from both ends, east and west, and slowed down to 25 miles an hour to go through Williams. Yeah. And then they put the bypass around. They were working on it when we headed off to seminary.
So
now that's where Wildlife Camp is.
My kids always go to Young Life up in Williams. Yeah. So is that compound part of what you were a part of, or did you have any work with those guys? Or
no, we used it a few times for retreats. For men's retreats, women's retreats, and associational retreat, stuff like that.
Yeah, it's cool. It's beautiful up there.
Yes, it is. Love it.
That's amazing. All right. Well, when did you come to Glencrop? Let's back up to this point of entry here.
Well, I kind of got off on the memory thing. I knew that my memory was changing, and so we prayed about it and felt that I should retire at the end of 2020. And so January 1 of 21, I retired, and we had a ball and was having great time. And then the last 6 months I was in and out of the hospital a lot, and our son's in Tucson, and our daughter and her family and son-in-law Seth are just 15 minutes north of here. Okay. Bonnie's grandmother had been here.
There you go. Okay.
Wow.
For about 20-something years, and she passed away in the late 90s.
Okay.
And so we knew that this was on our scope if we should come down here. We still loved it up there because we don't generally have heat like we have here.
No, you don't.
And if we do, it's for a week. It's not for months.
Extended, yeah.
And so I didn't want to come back, but both the kids said, Dad, if your health keeps going south, we're not close enough to help Mom. And then one of the men in our church family passed away, and I saw how difficult his wife, they have tons of family around, they have tons of decades-old friendship relationships, and some of her friends are wealthy. And so if she ran into a hardship, one of her kids or relatives would call one of the family friends, and suddenly there was money to get the roof put on the house and this and that type of stuff. And having seen her and how much she was struggling with all that for the first time, I said, we need to pray about this. And God made it pretty clear in about a week that, we need to go down there. And we were coming down at Christmas time. Okay. And so we visited multiple communities, and Glencroft, for the price and for the amenities, I mean, they were hands down ahead of everybody.
Sure.
So you moved in when?
We moved in the 1st of May.
Just this last May or a year ago?
Just this past May.
Okay, I thought you hadn't been here that long. But
about 4 months.
Wow, but I see you everywhere. I love it.
Well, it's just been that we see a need and we respond to it, and as long as the calendar holds out and the health holds out, we just keep rolling.
I love
what
that.
I've enjoyed seeing is your ability. It's one thing to be a volunteer and have this heart for if you have a need. But it's one thing to own whatever this project is and really make it your own and have impact on it. And I know in the Performance Center with the virtual reality, you're hands-on with residents every Wednesday. It's in your calendar. You're there making sure everybody's safe, executing the VR games and all of the tournaments. And Mark's really enjoyed leaning on you to help execute that because it frees us up to do other stuff. And with Malia leaving that VR, really pinnacle of what we've been using it for, we needed that. We didn't want it to just drop back off. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Because it's a big help. And what we want to do with that, we're going to lean on you and other residents that can embrace technology and really adapt to it, which you've done really well. Is technology like that been something you've been familiar with, or did you just jump in and say, I'm going to learn it and do it? And
I'm not really a techie guy. Matter of fact, I had to let Mim know over at the church this last week that the digital dog ate my homework again. So please send it to me again. And stuff just disappear on me. Yeah. And then later, when I'm not looking for it, it'll go plunk, and there it is. So I'm not a real digital person. But if I learn how to do just what I can do, then I work my way through it and try to learn.
You do great in there. So,
have you used it yourself? Have you seen? What's your favorite thing that you've done?
I think the Beat Saber.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh.
I enjoy that.
Hitting blocks up, down, right, left. Yeah, that's great.
I also enjoy the Google Earth thing.
Yes. Isn't it amazing?
Looking back to places that we lived when I was a kid in those rural areas.
Yes.
Well, you're volunteering all over. Name some other places in other departments that you're doing some work with.
Well, Bonnie and I help with the thrift store, and I'm the guy replacing batteries and watching videos and trying to learn how to replace links in bands and that type of stuff.
You were telling us off camera, how many batteries have you done since the new pendant came out and everybody's bringing back their old watches? How many have you done?
About the last 10 days, close to 100, if not more.
Wow, really?
Amazing.
Yeah.
So what are you doing? I'm sorry.
Just replacing the batteries.
Because we've switched to the pendant.
Yeah, I know.
So the old watches are coming out of the dresser.
Okay.
And one lady brought quite a few watches over, and somebody says, "Why are you bringing all those watches?" She says, "Dear, this is my jewelry." and so a lot of people being able to wear watches again and to accessorize by color and feel and all that stuff.
Sure.
It's kind of a fun thing for them.
That's very cool. What else?
I've been helping with the camera at the worship services once a month. And starting this week, I'll be leading in music 2 Sundays a month, preaching a week from Sunday, just filling in while Pastor Joel's gone.
And what are you gonna preach on?
Why you can be sure you can finish strong.
That's great.
And,
yes.
Well, you guys are very musically talented as well. Both you guys.
Yeah, Bonnie's the real musician. I'm just like preaching class when in doubt, be loud.
That's right. She plays the organ, right?
Piano first and the organ, and her number one is the flute.
Okay, because I saw her playing in there.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure Mim loves the...
Oh, I know she loves it.
You know, people everywhere thank her for playing the organ, so I was a little surprised to hear so many people really are moved by the organ, but it adds a lot. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you're the poster child for somebody that has moved in and hit the ground running.
In a matter of months.
I mean, it's one thing, we get a lot of residents move in and they just start working on themselves and taking advantage of all that we provide. But I think it is rare that you get somebody doing that and giving back so quickly to so many people and departments. So it's obviously how you're wired, and you guys have the heart for all of that. And it's fun to see you just jump on campus and make such an impact so quick.
I know when I had seen you a couple of times, I'd seen you guys walking around, and I thought, they have been here a long time. How did I not know them? So to hear you were just here since May, I feel way better.
It's like dog years, 4 months, you know.
Yes, on Glencroft time.
All right, Jay. Well, we appreciate you jumping on with us, learning more about you, and
yes, thank you.
The cool weather's coming, man. Williams weather's coming our direction.
Just a couple more months.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Kay, what a show.
Oh, what a delight.
He is a delight. I know he spent a lot of time with Stan digging down on his spiritual walk, but I just love hearing his background from our perspective.
Right. And just the fact that they've only been here for a matter of months, and I see them at every event I've worked at. I see them walking around out at church. Well, it's awesome.
I knew they were going to hit the ground running because they were front row center in our orientation.
Yes.
Right? And they were sitting there, and it was hand up, question, 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 writing notes. And I go, And the minute we walked out of the room, they immediately signed up for the assessment. I mean, it was like, okay, these two are going to hit the ground running.
That's so fun to see, and to be so willing to help in any area that somebody asks.
And something like technology, where he was like, it's not really my skill set, but I can plug along and learn. And not only plug along, he is like advocating for technology. Like he's in there pushing people to the VR. Like it's awesome.
Well, it is so fun.
All right, couple big things when this airs. There's a lot going on this week.
Oh, so much going on.
University graduation. I mean, it's go time. We know it's our favorite day of the year.
I know.
But it's here. It's Thursday the 15th. That auditorium, by invite only, because we have to kind of keep it controlled.
And we let the graduates choose.
The graduates got to choose, but it's going to be put on Channel 4.
Right.
So if you didn't get in the door, you can watch it. And it's an amazing time, because not only do we give love and embrace all that these graduates accrue, but it's like showing all the photos of everybody learning and doing all of the just the process.
Well, and for me, as I'm typing up all the people who have presented over the last 4 years, it's amazing how many people have committed their time and energy and knowledge to our residents. All for free.
All for free. I think that gets lost on some.
I know. And we're not talking about people that are home trying to figure out what to do next. These are people that are working in their field of expertise. And they're coming on our campus and spending time and walking away feeling like, who got more out of that? Because they love meeting our residents.
Well, and we have this conversation a lot, is make sure who we're bringing to the table has been vetted.
Oh, yes.
We know them. We know they're not here to sell, to pitch. They're here to help you guys learn on all sorts of topics.
Absolutely. And we listen to you when you tell us, look into getting someone. We can't always do it, but we try.
We try.
We really try.
I think the response already, when we haven't even started in the university curriculums out, and the amount of curriculums that have come back into the Performance Center and signing up classes, I mean, it is packed.
Is it?
It is. These have flooded us. And so our team down there is writing them all down and making sure we're accounted for.
Everybody's on the list.
So
and how many do you have? Do you still have quite a few, or
what's that?
Of the curriculum in case someone hasn't.
Yeah. We do. We have them. So come on down and get them. But if you haven't turned yours in, I implore you to do it because
so
they are filling up.
Because it's way better in person.
It is way
better. If you can.
So
I think, and they can get them at the Performance Center.
Yep.
At the admin office and the concierge.
There you go.
And Providence Place.
Available. All right. That's the 15th.
That's the
graduation. 16th, for all you out there, my mom's service is going to happen the 16th, 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
It's going to be a busy, fun. I hope it's going to be just filled of joy.
That's what she would want.
That's what she would want. So I've been asked a lot, when is it, when is it, when is it? This week there'll be flyers up, but just from the horse's mouth, the 16th, 10 o'clock auditorium. This is where we wanted to do it, not in Tucson. I got a lot of heat from the Tucson people. Why is it here? I said, this is her home.
Right.
This is her new family. We're doing it here. So Tucson people are out.
And you're the horse, then it came from your mouth.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So it's going to be on Channel 4. It's going to be amazing. And I can't wait till next week.
Yeah, it's going to be big.
All right. We just hit 00. That means we're out. Thank you.